Alright, let's just get right into it. Steph got hurt. It was announced yesterday afternoon that Curry's going to miss a few weeks due to injuring his left shoulder against the Pacers on Wednesday. Now, initially when the injury happened, I hoped it wasn't anything serious and thought maybe he'd only miss a couple of days. But now, since it's been announced that he's going to miss 2 weeks, the Warriors might be cooked. As of right now, they're 10th in the West with a record of 14-15, and over these next few weeks, they play the Sixers tonight in Philly, the Raptors in Toronto, the Knicks away, the Nets away, then the Grizzlies, Hornets, Jazz, Blazers, Hawks, Pistons, and Magic at home. And looking at these next couple of games right now, I can see the Warriors only winning against the Hornets, Pistons, and Magic. And even the Magic game is not going to be an easy one. The Magic are currently on a 4-game win streak. So yeah, even then, I'm going to see 2 guaranteed wins for the Warriors in the stretch. The Warriors are a completely different team without Steph. Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer tweeted this yesterday. Shout out to him. He makes great content for The Ringer. In his tweet, it says the Warriors with Steph have a 118.9 offensive rating and a 111.9 defensive rating, which leads them to having a +7 net rating. But the Warriors without Steph have a 99.9 offensive rating, which is a 19-point drop-off versus when he's playing. And they have a defensive rating of 111, which leads them to have a net rating of a -11.1. The Warriors' defense pretty much stays the same, but offensively the drop-off is insane. They become the worst offense in the league when he's not playing. The Warriors are going to need Jordan Poole to step up now and average 25-plus points per game on decent to good efficiency to somewhat replace the production that Steph leaves. And Clay's going to have to step up and average like 21-plus points per game on better efficiency than what he's been doing so far this season. The Warriors were already barely staying in that playing area as is, and now if they lose a lot of games in this stretch that Curry is out, which is highly possible of happening, they would end up a few games behind trying to get a playoff spot and have to fight for their life just to hold on to a playing spot, which would make the road of them trying to get back to finals and win another title more challenging, and it's already challenging enough trying to repeat. Now, I was wrong about Jacque Vaughn. About a month back, it was announced that Jacque Vaughn would be the Nets head coach. Initially, when I and everyone believed Ime Udoka was going to take the job, then a week later, it was announced Vaughn got the job. Now, in the video I made about a month ago, I said I didn't think Jacque Vaughn would be a good head coach. At the time, I thought Ime Udoka could help the Nets more than Jacque Vaughn, but boy, was I wrong. Since Jacque Vaughn has been the head coach of the Nets, they have a record of 15-7, which ranks second behind only the Celtics, which everyone agrees on are the best team in the league. In this stretch, since Vaughn has been the head coach of the Nets have a defensive rating of 110.5, which is a top 6 defense in this stretch. And the Nets' offensive rating as of right now is 11th with 113.8. Offensively is not what has made the Nets so good since Vaughn has taken over. They have always had the talent to be a top 10 offense, with KD and Kyrie being some of the best offensive players in the game, and all the shooters they have from Steph Curry, Patty Mills, Joe Harris, and shooters that are good or solid defensively in Yuta Watanabe, Royce O'Neal, and Markieff Morris, and Ben Simmons being the good passer he is. But defensively is what Vaughn has made the most impact on and has turned the Nets around the most. Before Vaughn became the head coach of the Nets were terrible defensively. They would constantly miss the rotations, would leave guys open, whether that was letting someone cut back door for a layup or not fighting over a screen, and their man would easily get to the basket and get a layup. Or the ball handler would be able to easily get into a mid-range pull-up or have an open shot from deep. Sometimes a guy would get open and no one would go to the guy that was open. Instead, they would point and put their hands up when the guy that was pointing or had his hands up was the closest guy near the open player. They would not give a lot of intensity on the defensive end and seemed that they didn't care about defense and they just cared more about offense. But since Vaughn has taken over, that has changed a lot. They give a lot more intensity on the defensive end. Now they fight better over screens and they are way better on closeouts. Vaughn has been able to get everyone to buy in and to believe in his defensive scheme. Vaughn even has been able to get KD and Kyrie to buy in defensively. In my opinion, this has been the best KD has looked defensively since his first and second year with the Warriors. Kyrie has always been a solid defender, but he's just never given the effort. Also, I saw the stat on my Twitter feed from NBA University, shout out to them. Teams shoot over 10% worse than expected at the rim against KD, which is in the 97th percentile. Under Jacque Vaughn, he has given the most effort on the defensive end that I've ever seen in his career. Vaughn has also been getting more out of Ben Simmons than Nash was. Ben looks like he's starting to get back to himself. Defensively, he looks like back to himself in the games Ben has played in since coming back from his injury. He has a 98.9 defensive rating. Offensively, he has been more aggressive, whether that's getting downhill to the rim in transition or posting his defender up and using a hook shot. Or when he sets a screen and dives to the rim, he has a floater that he can go to that works most of the time. Role players like Yuta Watanabe and Royce O'Neal are good point-of-attack defenders. I want to give Watanabe some praise because he deserves it. Besides already being a good point-of-attack defender and being versatile defensively, being able to guard multiple positions, he is currently shooting 52.1% from deep on 3 attempts per game. I swear he has never missed a 3-point shot from the corner. He's one of the most underrated role players in the league, and he's one of my favorite role players in the league. Royce O'Neal's been solid this season, as I said earlier, being a good point of attack defender, and as of right now, he's currently hitting 40.7% from deep on 5.6 attempts per game. Nick Claxton's been good at protecting the rim this year. I saw a stat on my Twitter feed from NBA University that players shoot 11% worse at the rim against Claxton, which is in the 98th percentile. And as of right now, Claxton's third in the league in blocks per game with 2.2 blocks per game. Even though Vaughn has been good since taking over as the head coach, I still believe the Nets will finish as the 4th or 5th seed. And they'll probably be a second-round exit unless they make a trade for a center that can protect the rim and shoot from deep, like Mo Bamba. If the Nets were able to trade for him, I think that would help them out a lot. He'd be able to give them good rim protection like Claxton. But the spacing would be way better with Bamba since he can stretch the floor, and that'd be great since Ben Simmons is not much of a floor spacer. I appreciate you watching the video. If you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video. More content on the way.